French Shalom, and greetings to you all. Now, what a week this was. We had a change in time. We had Pi Day on the 14th. We had the Ides of March on the 15th. We had St. Patrick's Day and Purim on the 17th, and we're not finished. Coming up on the weekend is a change of season. Spring is coming on Sunday the 20th at 11:33 in the morning. The line, it is drawn. Curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will be later last, for the times they are a-changing. Now, before we honor the change in season, let's take a few minutes and come together and showing unity as we honor all of us, those the same and those that are different, putting differences aside as we form a community, a collective consciousness of seekers showing faith, any and all faith, love, any and all love, a true chavura, which is a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all. This community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay, and even though together, we're individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her or their own way. So once again, please do go ahead, invite everybody you know, some physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way you want to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Ya. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Ya. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. Community. Together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world, my friends. Remember, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention. You know, that's a word you hear me use a lot. It's what you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. And goodwill and intention are the roots of what you can control, of what you can correct in life. Your intention sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives, my friends. So let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's some of that goodwill, some light, some healing, out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. It just floats through space, finding those in need. Even those you think of, it just goes out. So send it out. For those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It is for our pets. It is for the earth. It is the healing of the world. The Tikkun Olam. It's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. We have to help heal the world. It is not something we can complete. It is simply an ongoing task to be dealt with in this lifetime and every lifetime. And we each must do our part. We each must do what we can to improve and change our own little corner of the world. So we change ourselves. We change the conditions of life. Part of that healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for Ken and Catherine, for Mary Ellen and William, for Terry and Sherry, for Alana, Doria, for Francis, Shoshi, for the fairy godmother we all need, for Joseph and Aurelia, for Anne and Alex, for Johnny, Dave, for Mookie and Agent K, for all of our sacred animal friends everywhere, for everybody you know and need, for the whole world, my friends, for the bee. It is the kindness, the healing wishes, the goodwill and love we all send out. It just circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world's a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Avotenu Bakor Chabracha Limotenu May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Barak, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He's healed before. Misha Barak, may He who blessed, because all healing's a blessing. So let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now this year, and I say this year, because with the lunar calendar, we never quite know where we will be on any given day. So this year, the first day of spring, which is also the equinox, happens on the full moon. And so we should take a moment and we should be welcoming the new season. Now, change of season ritual is a wonderful thing to add to your spiritual practices, to honor the time of the seasons, acknowledge Mother Earth. Time feels different for each season we enter. We are entering the season of light. Time passes slowly up here in the daylight. We stare straight ahead, try so hard to stay right, like the red rose of summer that blooms in the day. Time passes slowly and fades away. Now, the change of season ritual is about changing, about transformation, friends. If you're interested in transformation, no element is more important than developing a love of truth. Not my truth, not your truth, but the real truth. Okay, maybe my truth. Now, the truth encompasses both our fearful reactions and the greater resources of our soul. Seek the truth in absolutely everything you do. Don't forget, we're given more than enough energy to transform ourselves every day. But we waste, probably 98, 99% of it on tensions, on emotional reactions unrelated to what's actually occurring, and on daydreaming and mental chatter. We can be fixing ourselves. Man has observed and celebrated these turning points of the solar seasons for thousands and thousands of years. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. There is a time. Our ancient brethren, the world over, carved on stone markers a circle with 2 lines cutting the circle and 4 to mark the solstices and equinoxes. We still remember them as the first days of spring, summer, winter, and fall. And we continue to note them, to think of them and what they usher in. But because the Jewish calendar is primarily lunar, it has less indications today that we might once have celebrated these solar dates as sacred. But they served as a means of unification of the solar and lunar calendars. And they are clearly named in the Talmud. Tekufa Nisan, the spring equinox. Tekufa Tammuz, the summer solstice. Tekufa Tishrei, the autumn equinox. And Tekufa Tevet, the winter solstice. Tekufa means turn or cycle. They were considered very powerful days. And 2 of them still highlight the holiest days in the year. And they are specifically referred to in the Torah. Now, the beginning of the year, the first of the months, and the other, what has become the beginning of the year, Rosh Hashanah. Both are built around the equinoxes. Now, we celebrate these power days with blessings for the changing seasons and Kavanah, there's that word again, the prayerful intentions for crossing from one time to another. These are not new. They're based on very old traditions which you may reincorporate into your own spiritual practices. And remember, my friends, everything that happens in your life is a result of your kavanah, your intention. Each of the 4 seasons represents change in time corresponding to change in meanings in life. The summer solstice represents the twin extremes of loss and abundance. The autumn equinox is the link between earth and heaven. The winter solstice is the search for light. Having found it, we now have the spring equinox, the triumph of life, its renewal. This is Tekafat Nisan, the spring equinox, referred to in the Bible as the first day of the year. Now, many wonder, why do we have an equinox? Now, you may hear a myriad of reasons, but there's only one. The Earth spins on a tilted axis. So why is it tilted? Well, you have to go back to ancient Sumerian creation myths, which tell us that the Earth was hit by a massive object. The planet X, people will tell you, it was the planet Nibiru. Others will tell you it was the result of a great sky battle. You could read in Tablet 4 of the Babylonian creation myth, which is the earliest of all, the Enuma Elish, the story of Tiamat, the primordial sea from which the gods were created, and her battle with Marduk, who was later proclaimed king of the gods, and who later became Mordecai. Now, an equinox is when everything's in balance. Everything is equal. It's only 2 points in the year when the world is in complete balance. This is one of them. Would that we could actually be in balance too. It is there as an example of what we can aspire to be ourselves. And there's a reason most of the indigenous world saw spring as the new beginning. Life began all around them. And biblically, the spring and equinox and the first day of the year were pretty well the same. This year, because of the leap year, they are 2 weeks apart. And we are told certain biblical events took place at this time. I'm not going to go into them now. So let's do a blessing for marking the change in season. And it's a blessing which can be recited over a cup of wine on the day of any equinox or solstice. This prayer also may be recited along with blessing over a scent related to the season. For example, flowers for spring, fruit for summer, leaves for fall, pine boughs for winter. It's based on several different texts. The Havdalah ceremony, the blessing over equinoxes and solstices, which is found in the Babylonian Talmud, the traditional evening prayer marking the transition between day and night, the Torah text, which the Lord promises Noah that the seasons will continue as long as the earth endures, and the blessing over the abundance of years found in the daily Amidah prayer. Blessed are you, Lord our God, who guides the world, who makes creation, whose wisdom changes the times and turns the seasons. As long as the days of the earth endure, planting and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Blessed are you, divine presence, who blesses the years. And remember, Judaism in all its prayers is based on intention. And so we have to think about our intention for the seasonal transitions. Kabanot latekufot. It is the season of empowerment to women. So for the spring equinox, we take the intention from the great Song of Songs. Arise, my beloved, my fair one. Come away. For now the winter is past. The rains are over and gone. The blossoms appear in the land. The time of singing has come. The song of the dove is heard in our land. The first of spring is New Year's in the Persian world also, and it's called Nowruz. So happy New Year to all of Persian descent, wherever you may be. So here we are. The foot of the mountain as we read Tzav Command. And this week's reading is really kind of the first of a two-part reading, but you don't know that yet, devoted to the ordination of the priesthood, which is the establishment of a very important elite group. Now, I know it's odd. You don't think of Jewish priests. You think of Jewish rabbis. The priest was the intermediary between God and man for purposes of supervision of rituals, management of the cult, control over the sacred tools, diagnosis and treatment of conditions. It's a pretty good gig if you're in the right group of those elites. The rabbi was a teacher who could teach these things. So a rabbi was an expert, a teacher in ritual and law. So all priests were rabbis, but not all rabbis were priests. Priesthood was a right of birth. By being born to a certain tribe, and within that tribe were orders of a level of priest, which we see formed in today's reading. Those not born into that class, who were just as capable, were rabbis and Nazarites, who made the vow, teachers, priest-like, but without the right of birth, but exceptional Nonetheless, Samson, Jesus, Maimonides, great teachers. Now, the destruction of the Second Temple in about 70 of the Common Era marked the end of the priesthood. The surgeon rabbis as leaders of the religion from that point forward. Now, here, where we are now, God's giving Moses instructions on the role of the priest. He'll be in charge of the spiritual practices of the people, and his first job, Leviticus 6:5, and the fire on the altar shall be kept burning through it. It shall not go out. Fire always shall be kept burning on the altar. It shall not go out. Now, the chief tool of the priest is this sacred fire. Hey, if it's kept burning, of course it never goes out. This is redundant. And that tells us that it is emphatic. This ritual law has special significance because it brings together space and time. Now, visual expression of the idea that the ritual structure that is starting here is to prevail for all time to come is this fire that's not to be quenched. It's also reminiscent of the account in Exodus of Moses' encounter with God at the bush that burns without being consumed, and the fire in the cloud that they have with them every day. And after 7 chapters of instructions on some of the various offerings, we get to the heart of the matter, the establishment of this elite group. Leviticus 8:1, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, take Aaron and his sons with him, and the clothes and the anointing oil. Now, Leviticus has only 2 narrative accounts. The first is the story of the consecration of Aaron and his sons to the priesthood of Israel, and that's where we are. Leviticus 8:6, and Moses brought Aaron and his sons forward, washed them with water. He dresses them in the proper new outfits, performs the last sacrifice of his career. Because from now on, the job of sacrifice is no longer Moses, it belongs to the priesthood. Leviticus 8:35, and you shall sit at the entrance of the tent of meeting day and night 7 days. You shall keep the Lord's charge. You will not die, because that is what I was commanded. We have to wait 7 days. 7 days. 7 more days shall be coming. I'll be waiting at the station for her to arrive. 7 more days, all I gotta do is survive. Yes, the world is sacred, my friends, and so is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love, share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light, and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other, we share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. Please do learn to love. Learn to forgive. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have and enjoy the journey, because we take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our efforts to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. It is our intention, our kavanah. Our cause, our effect, everything's linked. Now, you always have time to forgive and be forgiven, because you have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. And do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those you've hurt. You should learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world, just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It is your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all, honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of your real power, it simply lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you, because you're never alone. You're forever blessed, and you have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet, health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous. Bless others and bless yourself in love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief, and never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together, and we help each other, because we are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives. So find them. Tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to the promised land. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Get ready to enter a very special group. But you have to wait another week. Ooh, I need your love, babe. Guess you know it's true. Hope you need my love, babe. Just like I need you. Hold me, love me. Hold me, love me. Ain't got nothing but love. 8 days a week. Well, I hope you join us in our weekly Friday evening virtual Sabbath service. And on Sunday, the first day of spring, we will be holding a virtual change in season service in honoring the spring equinox. So if you want the link, send me a note, and you're welcome to join us. Thank you for joining me again. Have a great week. Please keep exercising forgiveness. Be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving, and believe in yourself and in love. And continue to spread a little goodwill to the world. Never forget, my friends, you are the miracle in someone else's life. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.